the opportunity of thinking bigger, but not only bigger, but better. I guess the world we live in right now is such a smaller place, such a place of so many more possibilities. And with everything that comes and goes with that idea, that ideology of giving birth to a product, a service, an idea of a business, an idea that gets created with just thinking with a white piece of paper and putting some bits and pieces together, and how you connect those dots, that eventually you have a go. You get out to the wild, wild west and you have a go at starting something called a business. And the skills and tools to create an idea are very different to the skills and tools to build a business, but more importantly, building a business. See, business, when you're in business, it's a doing word. It's not something, it's not an event. It just doesn't happen. It's a happening thing. Starting to think about your business, your life, more importantly, because remember, our business, our careers, our jobs, whichever way you wish to look at it, they're just a vehicle. They're a vehicle to something called quality of life. And for most of us, we get what we deserve, right? We get what we deserve not by working harder, but sometimes going slower to go faster. So I've actually put up there a couple of words here. What does this year look like to you? What does it actually look like for you is a better way of referencing it. And the year is 2025. And I am so convinced that if you can't put yourself in a position of uncomfortable, unknown, unfamiliar, if you don't put yourself in that environment, not every day, but a little more often than what we do as human beings who are caught up in what we refer to as the rat race, the rut race, if you don't put yourself in a place out there, something that is totally unfamiliar, then I guess our decisions for tomorrow can only be about survival. So what does 2025 as a year look like for you, your life, your business, your children, your loved ones? Where is it that you're living this beautiful thing called life? Is life part of your business plan, by the way? Is it part of your business plan? Are you doing business with so many more people because you've actually stepped outside of the things that keep you from thinking a little bit bigger, not just thinking big, thinking bigger? And thinking is a doing word, it's a constant word, right? It's something that's always happening. Are you thinking bigger, but are you thinking better? So 2025, what does that year look like for you? How are you, as the captain of your ship, taking ownership for where it goes and ultimately what shows up? And if you can do that as often as, let's call it once every 6 months, once every 12 months, and do it from a perspective of, no, I'm not going to play it safe. Because if there's one thing about a blue biro and a white piece of paper, you can shred it. Right? And the miracle of a business, the miracle of a life is not so much the plan, it's the planning. It's the ideas that you are brave enough to put in writing, and thereafter, in a day's time, in a week's time, in a month's time, reflect back on what you wrote or what you contributed to understand, is it or isn't it for me? Because remember, the most important thing in life is you. It's no different to when that pilot says, if anything happens on this flight and those things pop out of the air, what are those things called? What are those things pop? Oxygen masks, yeah, that's it. So if an oxygen mask ever pops out of a roof or a ceiling of a plane when it's in flight, please don't put it on your children first, which would be an instinct, wouldn't it? Put it on your children first. What they're actually instructing us to do, put it on your face first. So there has to be an aspect of selfish when it comes to what your life, your business looks like in 2025. Let's just reference it as a future, right? The other aspect of 2025, and I guess, that sort of macro thinking, which is 520 weeks, whichever way you want to look at it. 2016 to 2025 is 520 weeks. If you think about where you were 520 weeks ago, some of you are going to think, oh man, if only I was there again. And many others would think, okay, well, what's actually changed? Not much. So you are the agent of change. You are the agent of change for self, and if you do that well and keep on rehearsing change and being okay with change, you're actually going to end up in a place that's way better in the next 520 weeks than the last 520. Is that okay?